In 1912, Baden-Powell paid a visit to the early Boy Scouts of America to observe how the scouting program was being implemented. During his visit, BP noted that better communication would be key to helping the BSA thrive and grow. Learn how James E. West and the BSA addressed this need as well as some others in this edition of Artifact of the Week. In January 1911, a new magazine called Boys Life, the Boys and Boy Scouts magazine, came on the scene to reach the boys involved in the three scouting movements found in the United States at the time: the American Boy Scouts, the New England Boy Scouts, and the Boy Scouts of America. Publisher George S. Barton of Massachusetts was actually a member of the American Boy Scouts at the time. The ABS was a rival scouting organization started by California newspaper mogul William Randolph Hearst. Now, Barton had two goals with the premiere of his new publication. First, he wanted to create a magazine specific to the needs and interests of Scouts, and secondly, he wanted to provide enticing and respectable reading material for children. A magazine that boys would not be afraid to have their parents see them reading. Interestingly, Barton followed the January premiere up by skipping the February issue as he grew his staff and settled on a larger tabloid-sized format and a twice-a-month publication schedule. He relaunched the magazine in March of 1911, but the March issue of the magazine also displayed the label of Volume 1, Issue 1, just like the January issue had. In June of 1911, publication was reduced to monthly, and the size of the magazine was also shrunk slightly. It is reported that more than 65,000 subscribers were recorded in the first year of the publication. Following the advice of Baden-Powell, the BSA bought the magazine from Barton on June 10, 1912 for $6,000. Not only would the newly purchased Boys Life support the BSA's programs, but it would also provide a much-needed promotion for their new Learning to Read program. The first issue to be edited and published by the BSA was July 1912, and was rebranded as the official publication of the BSA. James E. West served as the BSA's first editor. A little later in 1912, a very young illustrator named Norman Rockwell joined the new staff of Boys Life as an artist. During this time, he was receiving $50 per month for each cover and set of story illustrations that he completed. Soon, he was promoted to art editor, a position he held for the next 3 years. His first published magazine cover, Scout at a Ship's Wheel, appeared on the Boys Life September 1913 edition. Rockwell was not the only famous artist or photographer to help bring Boys Life to life. The publication also featured artists and photographers like Daniel Carter Beard, Remington Schuler, Salvador Dali, Joseph Leyendecker, Ansel Adams, and Joseph Satari. In addition to these talented artists, authors like Percy K. Fitzhugh, Jack London, P.G. Wodehouse, William Greenbar, Bill Hillcourt, Isaac Asimov, and Ray Bradbury contributed their writings to the magazine. Over the years, the magazine transformed to reflect the changes in society and the Boy Scouts of America. The January 2021 issue, for example, was a historic issue as the magazine transitioned from Boys Life to Scout Life, following the decision to rebrand the youth program from Boy Scouts to Scouts BSA after girls were allowed to join the BSA program in 2019. Scout Life is published 10 times a year in 2 versions. There's a Cub Scout version tailored for youth ages 5 to 10 with more comics and fun activities, and an older Scout edition for youth ages 11 to 17 and a greater focus on stories that can help them be prepared for careers and life. Now, as a young Scout in the 1970s, I always looked forward to receiving Boys Life in the mail. My favorite parts were Pedro's mailbag, Gus, Scouts in Action, Pee Wee Harris, and of course, the page full of corny jokes and funny stories at the end of the magazine. As I advanced in my leadership roles, I started to take stock in the many program-related pieces Boys Life featured, and those certainly helped me to develop my scouting skills and the skills of the Scouts in my patrol and troop. Well, that's all the time we have for this week. Join us again next time as we continue to learn more about the history of the BSA through the collection of the National Scouting Museum and Artifact of the Week.